but I've got some questions to ask you today.
All right, very nice. What are they? What's your first question?
How many countries have you been to?
How many countries have I been to? I've been to a lot of countries, but as I keep telling you and Ariane, it doesn't really matter how many countries you've been to. What's important, because some countries, are really huge, like Brazil, and some countries are really small, like Liechtenstein, So what's more important is seeing places properly, to go back to a place again and again and again, and not to do what we call country counting. I don't approve of that at all. I think it's a kind of a fake science, and it's a bit silly. But so what I love, instead of country counting, is to find a place that I love, find a street corner I love in a town or a city or a village, and to go there again and again and again.
Okay, now, what is your favorite country?
Gosh, that's a good question. I have favorite countries for different moods and even at different times of the year. So, for example, I love Morocco, as you know, but I love Morocco especially in the spring, especially even in the spring when we drive out into the countryside and all the little flowers are out on the hillsides. And to me, it's a very special time. But I love the Rift Valley in Kenya, as you know, where I've taken you, where you can see the world, stretched to infinity. And I love, so many countries. Afghanistan, and would love it even more if it wasn't ravaged by war and corruption. And I love Brazil, and I love so many places. And even in India, I love India in some ways, especially when it's not so crazy, when it's on a quiet day in India. But so I think a long answer to this is different places for different moods, and it's very hard just to choose one place.
So what is your favorite form of travel?
My favorite form of travel, I really, really love train journeys, long train journeys, that go on for days and days. And that's a coincidence, because where did I take you this summer? Where did we go? We went from Istanbul by train to Sweden, and then down to the south of France, and then we came down here to Morocco. So I love long train journeys, and I love cycling. I just think cycling is the greatest way of traveling. But I had a friend, and you've heard me speak about him, Wilfred Thesiger, who was an old traveler, and he was born in 1910. And during my 20s and my 30s, we became really, really good friends. And he would always tell me that the only way to travel was on foot. And if you had to go somewhere, you should do it with camels or donkeys or mules, because he said that way you were going slow enough to see the world around you. Any more?
Yep, just one more. Do you recommend the life of a writer?
Do I recommend the life of a writer? Yes, I do recommend the life of a writer, because do I have a boss? No. Does anyone tell me to get up in the morning? No, not usually. And I can do whatever I like. Mostly I recommend the life of a writer because it's an interesting life. I have an interesting time. You see this. And because I'm a writer, I get the chance to meet all kinds of people, from, the bidonville out there, and, all kinds of ordinary people who, you know me, those are the people I'm actually more interested in. But I can meet people in government, I can meet diplomats, I can meet all kinds of people. For me, what's interesting is to have a full spectrum of life, to be able to travel and live and have encounters in all kinds of places and with all kinds of people. And I feel unbelievably fortunate for that, It's really important to me. Anyway, any more, or is that it?
No, that's it.
Timur, thank you, my friend.